a wonderful week. Please be safe. Movie of the week is Opus, now playing at a theater near you. You're now listening to Your Crazy America. This is a part of my network, Devon Excel. I have not done a Your Crazy America in several months. It's been a long time, so I apologize. I've been so many cases and stories, and this is one I wanted to bring to you because this is a wild, wicked tale. A woman has been accused of stabbing and castrating a dead man at a funeral home where she was supposed to embalm him before a cremation. We're going to go to Texas, everybody, and hear this wicked, wicked tale. Welcome to Your Crazy America, an extension of the Vault XL. Thank you.
And facing charges tonight, accused of brutally mutilating a corpse. Fox 26 was the only station in the courtroom after she surrendered to investigators.
And details of this we're talking about in the newsroom here, they are quite disturbing. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia is live for us in Bel Air with the details.
Mercy.
Jonathan.
Shut your mouth.
Very disturbing. In fact, law enforcement says this is a bizarre case. Now, this woman, she was working as an embalmer at this mortuary service right behind me. That's when investigators say she cut off the genitals of a deceased man, then placed it in his mouth.
And everybody deserves to go out of this world and into the next, without this kind of trauma, without this kind of stuff going on. So.
Well, he was a known sex offender. Did he deserve dignity, respect? I will put up a poll during this live stream and have you all answer that question. Was it wrong for this woman to stab a dead man, cut off his private parts, and stuff them in his mouth? You be the judge.
So it was a very, very odd case.
This is 34-year-old Amber Laudermilk. She only charges for abuse to a corpse. Now, the victim, according to court documents, was 58-year-old Charles Rodriguez. The documents say that Laudermilk cut his penis, then put it in his mouth. Rodriguez's family says he was a registered sex offender. Investigators say Laudermilk did this in front of apprentices at the mortuary services he was working. How did this all come to light?
The Texas Funeral Service Commission, there were people present. This defendant was an instructor on embalming and was teaching a class and did this in front of the class.
Wow. Yeah, that's bad. She left witnesses.
But that's what makes it more bizarre. She didn't do it in
privacy, right?
She did it in front of other people.
Wow, wow.
If she has done this before?
Not that we're aware of, but she's done this before.
Oh, my goodness.
I really don't know a whole lot about her past.
Sorry.
There may be something there in her past.
Has she done it before? I don't know. Damn.
I'm sorry. But it was a very bizarre case.
An indication of the motive for it. Did she know this deceased person?
She did not know this deceased.
Lordy.
I'm not 100% sure. She may have had some kind of issue in her past relative to a sexual assault. I don't know. I don't know what was in her mind. All I know is that you can't abuse a corpse.
Laudermilk faces up to 2 years in prison if convicted and is currently under a $5,000 bond.
$5,000 bond.
You cannot abuse a corpse. Once someone's deceased, you can't mutilate this corpse the way that she did. It was horrible.
Laudermilk's embalmer's license is currently under suspended and is under review by the Texas Funeral Service Commission to be permanently revoked. For now, we're putting live in Bel Air, John.
Bel Air, good old Texas. What we do in Texas stays in Texas. Damn. What I always talk about, go big or go home. Shut your mouth. All right, everybody. I'm trying to be serious. Welcome to Your Crazy America, an extension of the Vault XL. Amber Laudermilk, 34 years of age. I can't tell if she's black, biracial. She's in trouble. How about that? Let's get a good picture. Look at this young lady here. This is a defendant. This is the dead man. His family says he is a registered sex offender who died recently. And his body was sent to this funeral home to be cremated. And this young lady here was the orchestrator of the good news, or some would say, well, they're saying bad news about the news, and some might say it was good news. Some would probably prefer he was castrated while he was breathing, but that's a whole nother subject. Anyway, this young lady is facing charges of abuse of a corpse. And the sick part, besides the act itself, is that she did it in front of a class. She was instructing people, I guess, on how to embalm a body, and somehow her hands got a little slippery and cut the man's private parts off. First of all, they said she stabbed him 2 times, I believe, then cut his stuff off and stuffed it down his throat. Wow. Now, you hear this law official saying maybe she had some issues in her past with child abuse or some type of sexual assault. Is that true? Laudermilk, have you been sexually assaulted before? Do you know if someone has been sexually assaulted before? Justice wasn't served. You're having flashbacks. What's the truth? AOL is the source. Let's get down to business, everybody. We're going to take a look at this young lady and the dead man. Wow, wow, wow. Shut your mouth. They say the devil is busy. Him busy. Woo! She done cut the man's stuff off. Well, at least he wasn't alive. Imagine she was a nurse and realized there was a sex offender in her presence and cut his stuff off while he's breathing. Jeepers creepers. Trying to get us a good picture of the defendant in court. Hold on, everybody. Amber, Amber, Amber. Why would you do it in front of your class? That's what I don't get. Okay, some people are going to question the act itself. Some are going to care, some are not. I'm going to put up a poll, see how you all feel about this. But the point is, she was instructing a class and she knows better. Come on, you don't do this in front of the class. The reporter also asks if she's done it before. The person says they don't have any knowledge that she's done it before, but just imagine what else she's been doing with the scalpel. Shut your mouth. Because if she's alone, there are no cameras in the room. She may just have been dicing folks up just because. I don't know this chick. All right, everybody, let's get a little information on this young lady. An embalmer at a Texas funeral home allegedly cut off a dead man's penis and put it in his mouth. After learning he was a registered sex offender, cops said. Amber Laudermilk, 34, is accused of taking a scalpel to 58-year-old Charles Roy Rodriguez Groen while she was overseeing the convicted sex perp's body at the Memorial Mortuary and Crematory in Houston last month. She allegedly stabbed him twice before castrating him and shoving the remains down his throat, according to the police. Laudermilk carried out the alleged mutilation in front of an embalming student, authorities said. You didn't see anything, she allegedly warned the student just moments after mutilating the corpse. When questioned by another employee about Rodriguez's disfigured groin, oh my God, so that means somebody else saw it. Jesus. Laudermilk shot back that he had a lot going on with him. I'm sorry. What did that statement mean? The charging documents state. Rodriguez died of natural causes at a Houston hospital in January, cops said. He was listed on the Texas Department of Public Safety sex offender registry after he was convicted of sexually assaulting a 31-year-old woman in 2001 and given a decade of probation. It wasn't immediately clear how Laudermilk, became aware of Rodriguez's rap sheet. Okay, so 2001, that's 24 years ago. And this man would have been, let's see, 24, 8, that's 4. He would have been in his 30s, 37 years old when he sexually assaulted a woman. It wasn't immediately clear how Laudermilk became aware of Rodriguez's rap sheet. This case is about 2 troubled people. The victim, who was a registered sex offender, and the defendant, who was accused of viciously attacking his dead body, Harris County Constable Alan Rosen said. No matter what one thinks of his life, the law requires that he be treated with dignity in death. I don't know the suspect's past, but we have the utmost empathy for anyone who has been the victim of a sexual assault or is the family or friend of someone who has been the victim of a sexual assault, Rosen added. The facts clearly indicate she was angry, and I hope after this is resolved in the courts, She gets the help she needs. Laudermilk was charged with abuse of a corpse this week after the funeral home reported the alleged castration to authorities. So Amber did this in front of a student, and then another worker saw that his groin had been disfigured, and I guess she admitted, reported to the appropriate authorities and the funeral commission, and she's now faced with giving homeboy the business while dead. Wow, 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 wow. Here is the dead man who raped a woman 20-something years ago. Died naturally. And Miss Amber had the luxury, some would say, of coming across his path after death. Stabbed him, cut his penis off, and stuffed it down his mouth. Now, some are going to say because he raped the woman. So let's ask the woman who was raped by Mr. Rodriguez. How do you feel about your perpetrator, number one, being dead? Number two, getting stabbed and his wee-wee cut off and stuffed down his throat? Ma'am? Anybody out there? Ma'am? How do you feel about your perpetrator being dead and getting his wee-wee mutilated and stuffed down his throat, mouth? She probably don't give a F-U-C-K. I'm going to kind of go out on a limb and say she don't really care. As you heard the constable say, this cannot be allowed. Mutilation of anyone's body, no matter what they have. Do you agree or disagree? I'm going to put up a poll. Somebody in the chat said, whoa. Whoa is right. Cutie pie in court. Mean mugging with shades on. Don't want nobody looking at her. Don't want nobody to see her face. But here she is right here. 34-year-old woman. She's now messed up her career. Her license or her credentials have been suspended. She's given this funeral home a bad name. Mr. Rodriguez, he didn't feel anything. He was dead, just saying. But anywho, the law says you cannot mutilate a body, period. Breathing or not breathing. Weigh in, everybody. Yeah, I thought it might have been minors too, but no, it was against a woman, grown up. Yeah, but that's the whole point. Sex offender is for all types of crimes against persons, men, women, children. And it's no telling if he's raped a 31-year-old many years ago, it's no telling what else he's probably done. Same line of work. Probably has been in trouble before. He's probably done it before. Then they're going to ask that question about her as well. Well, what has she been doing with the scalpel while no one's paying attention? Yikes. I wonder if she has kids. I don't know, honey. Laws are the only thing that differentiate us from animals. So if we don't abide by them, we are no better, in my opinion. Well, oh, wow, okay. Well. We're going to put up a poll, everybody. Going to ask you, how do you feel about, well, I don't know if I can on this device. May have to wait. Okay, I don't think I can put it up on this one. I'll have to wait after I end this live stream. Weigh in, everybody. I'm going to comment under my own video. I mean, under this post. Well, tell me what you all think. Yay, nay, what? Dirty deed, what? She shouldn't have done it, but she did. So, Miss Justice, I assume you are saying that what she did was wrong to the defendant, to the dead man. So a defendant got mutilated by a woman who is now a defendant. Lord have mercy. Oh, I believe she just made bond. Hold on a minute. Just saw something there. Okay, I'm gonna put it up now. I wasn't on my desktop. Sorry about that. Let's see. Houston woman. Oh, I put pedophile. I didn't mean to put pedophile, I put sex offender. Because that's right, it wasn't a kid. Hold on. Sorry about that, everybody. That might have been what I might have put it in the title by mistake. So I'm going to ask you right or wrong. Houston woman stabs, cuts off sex offenders. Penis and shoves it down his throat before cremation. Right or wrong? Take the poll, everybody. You will have options. I always like to give people an option because there's always somebody that'll say, well, I can't answer. I don't know. You have 4 options, everybody. Yes, but not that I don't understand her mindset. It's very tempting, especially if you've been through something like that. Okay. True, if you think about it, before Abraham, everybody was kind of retarded and didn't worship a legitimate God. Laws are for a reason. Oh, my goodness. All right, everybody, you have 4 options on the question. Houston woman stabs, cuts off sex offender's penis and shoves it down his throat before cremation. Right or wrong? Right, wrong, not sure, don't care. Those are your 4 options. Take the poll, everybody. Go to my community page and check it out. Let's watch another video pertaining to that story for those just now coming into the Vault Excel. You are now listening to Your Crazy America. And this is where I bring you a wicked, wild story of something that an American has done as far as behavior. Could be a crime, could be an act, could be whatever. Let's go to this next video, see what they have to say. It's probably the same similar information.
Accused of brutally mutilating a corpse.
She couldn't even get it out.
Was the only station
She couldn't even get it out
after she surrendered to investigators.
And let me warn you, the details of this, we were talking about in the newsroom here.
It's on my community page.
Fox 26's Jonathan He is live for us in Bel Air with the details. Jonathan.
Very disturbing. In fact, law enforcement says this is a bizarre case. Now, this woman, she was working as an embalmer at this mortuary service right behind me. That's when investigators say she cut off the genitals of a deceased man, then placed it in his mouth.
And everybody deserves to go out of this world and into the next, without this kind of trauma, without this kind of stuff going on. So it was a very, very odd case.
This is 34-year-old Amber Laudermilk. She is...
Now, Constable, do you really feel that way? I'm just asking. Because we know that people say certain things expected of them because you're working as a law official and you're supposed to condemn any wrongdoing, any laws broken by man or woman or child. But in your private time, no one's listening. Did you say to yourself, my bitch deserved it? Just saying. Because we have seen this happen with people who work in certain areas of law enforcement, lawyers, judges, police officers, constables. They don't really care that the person did what they did. Just saying. And they may have been caught even saying it. Not nice, not right. Some would say, oh my God, you're supposed to be upholding the law. I can't believe you said that. That's why they always say you make sure your microphone's off when you're speaking, especially in a public arena. But does the constable really feel this way, that it was wrong for this young lady, Miss Amber, to cut the penis off of a sex offender? I don't know why I want to keep saying pedophile myself, but sex offender. My.
Is facing felony charges for abuse to a corpse. Now, the victim, according to court documents,
Not necessarily,
was 58-year-old Charles Rodriguez. The documents say that Laudermilk cut his penis, then put it in his mouth. Rodriguez's family says he was a registered sex offender. Investigators say Laudermilk did this in front of apprentices at the mortuary services where she was working. How did this all come to light?
The Texas Funeral Service Commission, there were people present. This defendant was an instructor on embalming and was teaching a class and did this in front of the class. She threatened them not to obviously say anything, but that's what makes it more bizarre. She didn't do it in private. She did it in front of other people.
Do we know if she has done this before?
Not that we're aware of that she's done this before, and I really don't know a whole lot about her past. There may be something there in her past that led to her acting out in this behavior. I don't know, but it's a very bizarre case.
Any indication what her motives were? I mean, did she know this deceased person?
She did not know this decedent. She, I'm not 100% sure. She may have had some kind of
Because I played the same video.
issue in her past relative to a sexual assault. I don't know. I don't know what was in her mind. All I know is that you cannot abuse a corpse.
I thought I was playing another video.
2 years
Sorry.
in prison if convicted and is currently under a $5,000 bond.
All I know is that
You ain't supposed to do it. For those coming in the chat late, this is Miss Laudermilk, 34, young lady, credentials suspended. This is the dead man, sex offender, raped a woman back in the early 2001. He died naturally recently, January, I believe. And family says he was a sex offender. So this is not a pedophile, but it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You're violating the rights of a sexually. And defendant, now she's a defendant, facing 2 years. Did he say 2 years?
you cannot abuse a corpse.
Bond.
All I know is that
Laudermilk faces up to 2 years in prison if
2 years.
and is currently under a $5,000 bond.
$5,000 bond, not a lot of money.
you cannot abuse a corpse. Once someone's deceased, you can't mutilate this corpse the way that she did it.
Two people say they understand her mindset.
Laudermilk's embalmer's license is currently under suspended and is under review by the Texas Funeral Service Commission to be permanently revoked. For now.
All right, so probably will be revoked. They've got proof. The man was mutilated. Damn, Amber, in front of a student. Amber said, I don't give a damn. So what? She must have been really mad. Wow. 3 people voted. 67% of you said it's right. 33% wrong. Wow. So at least 2 of you said it's right and 1 of you said it's wrong. Shut your mouth. Damn. Let me see. It's like it's the same information in both videos.
Only on
on 2 tonight, a funeral home employee criminally charged for a disturbing case in Houston. An embalmer accused of mutilating a corpse.
It's unfortunate because it makes us all really look bad.
Now KPRC2 is asking questions tonight about how something like this could have happened.
Goes to show you, 2 years, $5,000 bond, slap on the wrist.
When someone dies, there's some dignity.
She might just get probation.
Well, a licensed Houston embalmer is wanted after investigators say she cut off a man's private part before cremating
Oh yeah,
him.
this is before
She's
she
been fired from her job.
got to
Tonight,
court.
There is also a warrant for her arrest. Thank you for joining us. I'm Keith Garvin. Daniela Guzman is off this week. KPRC2's Bryce Newberry has the details. You'll see only on 2 and the warning before your.
She's already been to court, everybody.
Arrest.
The allegations here are rare and disturbing. This embalmer is accused of stabbing this dead man
Thomas,
twice in the
please.
groin area.
You're gonna be dead, Thomas. It doesn't matter.
Private part and putting it
Sorry.
in his mouth. Investigators say it all happened
You're not gonna know.
after she learned about his past. At Memorial Mortuary on the southwest side,
Sorry.
it's a situation that no family would ever want to hear about their loved one.
This was a vicious, brutal attack of a corpse. The person's already dead.
corpse.
It's kind of shocking even to me.
Licensed embalmer
Yeah.
Amber Laudermilk is accused of using a scalpel to a man in the groin after he died of pneumonia last month. She cut off
Pneumonia.
his private part, put it in his mouth, according to records, and told a trainee who witnessed it, "You didn't see anything."
Don't
Two
tell
troubled
anybody.
lives coexisted at the same time, but this person clearly, our suspect clearly just went off the edge.
Harris County Precinct 1 Constable deputies investigated. They say employees were too scared to report her, who,
Wow.
according to records, covered the dead man up with a towel when a colleague noticed the disfigurement. While
Okay, I'm not trying to make jokes, but damn, this is crazy. Nobody wanted to tell on her. I guess not. Did you see what she did to the dead man? Come on now. I work with this crazy bitch. I'm not telling on her. Hell no. I'm not telling on her. Why would I do that? She just cut a dead man's penis off and stuffed it in his mouth. And she stabbed him before that in front of me, and I'm a witness. Now, let me think about that. Okay, I'm gonna play nice, everybody.
a motive isn't clear, records show mortuary staff had just learned the victim was a registered sex offender.
Justice,
How important
behave.
are ethics in this line of work?
Y'all are horrible.
Ethics is everything in this line of work.
Jason Altieri runs Southeast Texas Crematory, not connected to this case, admitting this could have been hard to predict. He says families should be aware of where loved ones will be cremated, feel comfortable to ask questions, and be able to visit and see it in person.
Whether we have, a particular judgment one way or the other, it doesn't matter. We're there for a family. And
So basically, you're telling everybody, funeral homes and cremation, follow your dead person to the funeral home, watch them get dressed, made up, and then what? I'm just saying. You're going to have to leave that body at some point, okay? You cannot stay at the funeral home all damn day. Oh, you're okay, honey. Hello, Londa. You cannot stay with your loved one all damn day until they are cremated or buried. And I think everyone knows this. At some point, you have to leave the dead person. Can't hold on to their arm, put a handcuff on their wrist and your wrist. So anything can be sliced and diced for funeral services. You're not going to know. They put the clothes on. You're not when they dress the dead person. You're not going to be there when they cremate them. So you don't know what they've done to their body parts. They could have carved a heart in their ass cheek. I don't know. Could do all type of crazy stuff. Dear God, why are we talking about this nonsense? But you all get what I'm saying. You're not going to be there when it's time for the services, time for cremation. So once a person is dressed for funeral services, how are you going to know to them underneath their clothes? Were you going to actually strip them down before the funeral? I'm just saying. Just saying.
And we have to keep that in mind.
Staff reported the case involving Laudermilk to the Texas Funeral Service Commission. The executive director says it's the only criminal abuse of corpse case across the state in the last 2 years.
Dealing with the loss of a loved one is an incredibly difficult time, and there are
Thomas.
creditors.
Well, Thomas, you don't have anything to worry about. Won't
Families should
matter.
proactively verify the credentials of funeral homes and directors, he says, using the agency's licensed lookup. before putting someone to rest. Laudermilk has been a funeral director in Texas since 2021, according to records. Now the state will seek to suspend and possibly revoke her license.
It makes us all look bad, and that's the sad thing about this.
Memorial Mortuary tells KPRC2 Laudermilk no longer works there, but declined to provide any additional details, citing a personnel matter and ongoing legal case. The State Funeral Service Commission says investigators will be looking into the business as well to make sure all rules are followed. I'm Bright.
All right, so will they find any other improprieties at the funeral home? Will they find out that she did mutilate other dead people? This is not good. Place could be an actually good place, but we don't know how long she's worked there. So we're gonna ask all those questions. How long has Amber worked for this funeral home crematorium? When did she get her license? Has she had any other problems at this funeral home? Has she had any other problems at any other funeral homes? Does she have children? Is she married? Does she have a boyfriend? Was she sexually assaulted by a man, woman? Was she molested as a child? See, you never know. Lots of questions to ask, okay? Pertaining to this 34-year-old woman. Traumatized, perhaps. She saw this dead man. She knew that he had been on a sexual registry, and she went ham on him, literally. So, one's gonna say, did she have past trauma? And also the main question, how did she find out that he was a rapist? Because somebody told it. Somebody told it, she read it, she overheard it in conversation, or she Googled his name. Googled his name popped up, came up on the registry, came up on their criminal record, and she thought, oh, hell yeah, I'm getting ready to have some fun with Mr. Rodriguez. That's what she said to the scalpel. Look at my little friend. Little friend, look at little friend. Shut your mouth, queen. Bad joke, bad joke. Slap queen's hand. Bad hostess. Bad hostess. Hey, this is what people need to understand. And I saw a story recently about a funeral home up north, supposed to be doing the same thing, crematorium, and he's got the bodies just thrown around inside of a damn trailer, like garbage. You can see the bodies, the heads, all kind of shit. White man saw it, he told it. He was an electrician there doing some work, helping out, that's even more scary, that this guy is asking an electrician to help out with dead bodies. Don't even ask. I don't want to know. But he is the whistleblower, and he told on this person who owns this company. Rightfully so. Because you have to have respect for the dead, okay? You cannot just throw their bodies around. And let's be truthful. There's probably some of those people that were in those plastic bags. They done some crazy SHIT too. Murder, child molestation, beat up women, men. But the point is, we're supposed to respect the dead. That's what's always said, no matter what they've done, no matter how they acted when they were living. Respect the dead. I don't believe in playing around with the dead, no way, just because. You know, I'm one of them kind of people. We ain't doing none of that Ouija board. I want to talk to the spirit. No, you leave the dead where they are. That's why. So, same thing. Respect the dead. Even if they were bad people, respect them. It is what it is. Take the polls on my community page pertaining to this subject matter, everybody. Before I check out of here, I'm going to show you something about Wendy Williams. But I do want you to check out that story about that guy who told on that guy with the crematorium. I think it was in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. And Chicago's had a lot of horrible stories over the years pertaining to bodies being piled up, not being put into the machine to be burned, and just throwing them around. And in your mind, you're saying, you're burning the body. How hard can that be? Why are you not burning the bodies? Why are you throwing them around and stacking them high? Because that's the job. The body gets sent to your company and you won't burn the body. Why not? We heard so many wicked stories. Oh, the machine was broke, blah, blah, blah. We just started burying them. So you're just taking the people's money and then taking a dead person and throwing them in the ground, which they could have done that anyway. They could have paid a funeral home to do just that. So that's the point. You don't know what's going to happen to your loved one once they're out of sight. So that's what everyone needs to think about. And my thing is, people don't respect each other living. Okay? People don't respect each other living. People do horrible things to each other living. So did you actually think somebody will respect a dead body? Of course not. Because if you can't respect me while I'm walking and talking, you're not going to respect me dead. Okay? Before I check out of here, Wendy Williams, I'll give you an update on Wendy. Wendy was spotted leaving court Monday, feeling chipper and dapper with her family members. Please check out my short uploaded in the YouTube queue. This is Wendy leaving court on Monday. Guardianship court. And a reporter asked her how she was doing. How did everything go? Was everything going well? And she said, yes, it did. It is speculated that she'll be moving out of that nursing facility that she's been there for the past year and moving into a condo perhaps. So hopefully things will work in her favor. Hopefully she will stay sober, substance free, and move on with her life. I guess that dirty judge realized there's no need in trying to hold on and keep this woman locked in, because in the end, you can't make her be what they said she was, which was incapacitated. She's walking, she's talking, she knows her name, she knows who the president is, she's aware of her faculties, she knows what city she's in. If she can answer those basic questions, she's not stumbling over her words, she isn't stuttering, she isn't repeating herself, you have to honor that. It's just the way it is. And this guardianship needs to end. It's gone on too long, okay? Allegedly, she said she had a relapse last year by, I think, drinking some alcohol. They were celebrating dinner or something, and she had some alcohol. And that goes to the point of that. She's willing to admit that. That means she wasn't under the best guardianship. She isn't under the best guardianship. For her to even tell you now, a year later, she had alcohol last year and was under guardianship, and allegedly it's supposed to be what? In a facility of some sort. That means you all weren't watching her and taking care of her. You didn't have a monitor with her on her trips with her family, okay? And see, this is why I kept saying about being an alcoholic, a drug user. Even if the person becomes clean, sober, they still have the propensity to relapse. Everyone knows this, okay? It is. The reporter also asked if the emergency petitions went in her favor. She responded, they did. Thank you. The U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal Judge Lisa Sokoloff agreed to allow the former queen of daytime TV to move from the secured memory unit that Wendy has called a luxury. She lived there for the past half year to an unsecured floor in the independent living section of at the facility. So now they're saying it was unsecured, her floor. Okay. As the U.S. Sun previously reported, Wendy's attorney, Sadutu Salami, filed an emergency petition last week to have the star moved from her restrictive living arrangement, an issue which seems to have been at least temporarily resolved in court on Monday. She will be in a private condo now. She will have much more freedom to come and go as she pleases. She'll be able to have visitors. She'll be free to leave when she wants, the insider said. Wendy, who has never been photographed, oh, sorry about that, everybody, at guardianship court before, was there for a number. Wendy, who has never been photographed at guardianship court before, was there for a number of other important reasons as well. Her team will also begin settlement talks for the guardianship, the insider said. Okay. Ultimately, Wendy wants completely out of the arrangement, but there are some tests she'll have to face moving forward to see just how much freedom she will be given. And if that means she's entirely free from the guardianship, or she will be granted less oversight in the future with some other legal arrangement. But all that will be determined in the coming weeks, the source continued. Basically, the judge took issue with the cognitive test she took last week at Mount Sinai. The judge said that doesn't prove incapacitation. It just proves that she is coherent, cognitive, and alert. So Wendy will be doing another full cognitive workup to determine her cognitive ability and get a neurological exam for her frontotemporal dementia diagnosis. An insider added that the judge on Monday was open to hearing Wendy's wishes, and her team is now working towards a settlement. They are seeking to have a trial for Wendy in her quest to be released from the guardianship, while her legal team is also trying their best to save her from extraneous legal fees. While inside the court, Wendy's niece, Alex Finney, joined for the first half of the guardianship hearing. As the U.S. Sun had previously reported, Alex has become involved in the fight to free her aunt from the guardianship. Wendy has railed against her guardianship and the restriction unit she has been held in for the past several months, the U.S. Sun previously reported. And here is another photograph of Miss Wendy coming out of court. And she looks to be happy, in good spirits, family behind her. So the judge is basically worrying about the tests done at the hospital. So I guess the judge wants a formal re-evaluation of her diagnosis, the frontal lobe issue. Well, I hope that whatever comes about from that exam, if it says she still has dementia or whatever, the judge still just says, let her go. Because in the end, there are many people, and let's just keep it real. There are many people, white, black, short, tall, fat, Jewish, wealthy, unwealthy, poor, lost some type of cognitive disease, because there are so many diseases out here that affect your memory. I think most of you know this, and they're not confined to a nursing facility. So that's the one thing the judge needs to own. That there are many people out here who have full-blown dementia, have some type of memory issue, brain disease, brain disorder, and they are not confined. And some drink, some don't drink. Some use drugs, some don't use drugs. But they are not under guardianship. They don't have a payee, anybody over their checks, their monies. And so Wendy Williams needs to be treated the same. That's just real. That's not, made up. There are a lot of people out here who are navigating on their own, and they have all type of health issues. They have cancer. They have, cerebral palsy. They have all kinds of things going on. Mental issues, schizophrenia, and they are on their own. Hello, Star TV. They're on their own. They don't have a guardian and they don't have a payee. They can go to their bank, pull out their money, write a check, use their debit card. And you see this all the time with people. I'll be around people that, they don't need a debit card. Can't keep it, can't find it, lose it every 5 damn seconds. I was with somebody the other day that couldn't even use a debit card. And this is a grown person who don't have no frontal lobe issues. So this is what I'm saying. There are a lot of people who just ain't got their shit together, but they don't have a guardian. And as you get older, you're going to lose your memory, whether you use substances or not. So I hope that she gets free from this so we can quit talking about it. And if she decides to go back to using drugs, alcohol, whatever, that's Wendy's choice. Because I think she now knows that she's going to be under a fine magnifying glass. People are going to be watching her every move. So she's not going to be able to just go into the liquor store and buy a bottle of liquor, go into the corner store and buy beer, whatever. Somebody's going to tell it. Somebody's going to be talking about it. And all she needs is for somebody to go jump back on the bandwagon and say, oh, yeah, I saw her stumbling in here. She looked drunk and somebody needs to check on her, blah, blah, blah. She'll be right back where she came from. And she may not be lucky the next time. I do find it interesting that they're trying to say she's on a memory floor where she can move about, that it's unsecure. Well, it can't be unsecured because she's always been escorted down the elevators from what she said. And I don't think she's lying about that. Because if it was so unsecure, Wendy would have been walked out of there and never went back. Let's keep it real. And that's what they were trying to put out. That some things she told the public and these podcasters and talk shows, it wasn't true. She could move about freely. Well, I think we all know that's not true. Because now you're trying to make it seem like she has Stockholm Syndrome. She can move about, but she's staying here willingly. Well, if she's staying there willingly, then she don't need a fucking guardian then. Stop making up stuff. If she can move about freely, why is she there? Why don't she just walk out and go get her somewhere to live? Why are her things in storage? Why does she not have access to her own money? Why don't she have her own credit card, debit card? Why is her money still seized? So stop acting like Wendy don't know what's going on. She's too well aware, quite frankly. So whether she has this frontal lobe situation, front lobe, whatever you call it, she's still aware, and that's all that matters. Because as I said, there's something wrong with everybody out here. But it doesn't mean they don't know right from wrong. They don't know how to navigate. They might be doing things that's not in their best interest, health-wise, smoking weed, smoking crack, popping pills. The alcohol allegedly is what caused this dementia in the first place. So one thing begets another. But she's 60 years old. Like I said, freer, and whatever she does after being free, that's on Wendy Williams. She wants to go back down in the abyss, let her. She's a grown woman. Let her. Because in the end, her not being able to talk to family, friends, they can't visit when they want, she couldn't leave when she wanted. That to me is a form of imprisonment and a violation of a person's civil rights. If a person can't talk to people, they can't visit with people, people can't visit with them, that's no way for a human to live. I don't care if they have dementia, brain disease, disorder, that's still not right. And to me, it's a lonely life. And you're violating a person's right because they can't even navigate to interact with people. And she already told you she didn't have anything in common with the people that live on the floor. So that means she's quite aware. So although the judge wants to say, oh, well, she's alert, but I'm worried about the disease and da-da-da-da-da. Well, as I just said, many people have brain diseases, dementia, and they are not confined. That's the point. It's up to their family to step up and say, okay, they need to be in a nursing home or assisted living. But once again, legally, you have to go through channels to declare a person, you know what I'm saying, incompetent, incapacitated. And we've seen many times people will tell you, I don't want to be in a nursing home. I don't want to be in assisted living. I miss my house. I want my condo, my apartment. And they're aware. But they're living somewhere they don't want to be. And is it cruel? Yes, it is, because the person is aware. But I think this needs to end. I will say that Wendy's in better shape than she's been in the past couple of years. And someone posted a video in the shorts that is quite cruel, where they show her in the backseat of that car during that documentary, and that lady was driving and asking her, would she like to go to the Oscars? And Wendy didn't even know what the Oscars was. And then she said, yeah, I want to go. I'll wear this when I got on, which was a t-shirt and shorts. And the lady says, no, you can't wear that. And then it drew quiet. And it was like, man, that was an embarrassing moment. And it did make Wendy look bad, but it shows you that's how bad off she was a few years back when they filmed the documentary. She wasn't aware of everything, her faculties, because Wendy Williams would have known what the Oscars is, okay? Was. But at that moment, she did not. So I would say today, Wendy Williams is in a better space. So just end the guardianship, give her all her money, and if any money's owed to her from whomever, give her her money. Now, the flip side of this situation, once Wendy is free, I won't doubt her husband will still be lurking around, her ex-husband, trying to get money from her, he and his little dusty-ass girlfriend. And they need to move on, too. Go get a damn job, both of you, and leave this older woman alone. Because in the end, you all pimped her out enough, and the girlfriend you've lived off of the money that belonged to Wendy Williams and her husband, you've gotten a free ride. So what you need to do is carry your little dusty ass on to college somewhere and get your education and make your own way. And Mr. Hunter, you need to go make your own way too. You cannot keep living off of Wendy Williams' money. You should have thought about that when you were out there putting your penis inside that girl and making a baby with her. Yeah, I said that. He's another dirty dog. All right, everybody. Amber Laudermilk, 34, Houston, Texas, has lost her license to perform embalming solutions. She cut a man's penis off after stabbing him while dead and stuffed his penis in his mouth She did it in front of a student. Another worker saw that his groin was mutilated, and one thing begat another. She has been formally charged. She's facing 2 years in prison, and she's out on bond, $5,000 bond, okay? That's that. Kathy says, mutilation of a corpse is disrespectful no matter what. Don't disrespect the dead. It's up to the gods to judge the people for what they did in life, not humans. Okay. Wow, wow, wow. There we have it. Lost Al, I don't know who you're talking to, but it ain't going on in this chat. All right, everybody. That's the latest, everybody. You're Crazy America. 34-year-old woman castrated a dead man. He was a sex offender. If I put in the title pedophile, I meant to say sex offender. I'm going to change that. He raped a woman back in 2001. He died naturally in January. And this young lady came across him at this crematorium, and she mutilated his body. Don't know if she had past history with sex assault, child molestation, mad at men, mad at the world. How she found out he was a rapist, probably through the grapevine, like anything else. People talk, just like when people go to jail. People know what you did before you got into jail. A lot of people always wonder, but people talk. High profile coming to jail, the inmates already know before you get there. Prison, same thing. They know you're coming. So she probably heard he was a rapist. Somebody in the funeral home was probably talking, or she heard it on the news, social media, and it is what it is. But she's messed her life up now, so she won't be practicing this profession, and that's the whole thing. What is she going to do now in the meanwhile? Because everybody knows she's a devil with a scalpel. Shut your mouth. And I can see why nobody at the crematorium wanted to tell on her. Hell no, I ain't telling on her. Did you see what she did to the dead man? What do you think she'd do to you if you're breathing? I mean, most people probably think that. But then you got to wonder what else she's done at the crematorium. Has she mutilated any other bodies? Hell, has she mutilated anybody breathing? Shut your mouth. Ding! She's dead. Just saying. Now, will his family sue for mutilation to his private parts? Because everybody is trying to get a little bit of money today. So, will the family sue the crematorium for the abuse of their loved one? And once again, take the poll on my community page to tell me if you think what she did was right or wrong. And before I check out of here, I'm going to mosey on over to my community page, and I'm going to see how you puppies weighed in. Thank you so much for following this network. Follow me on the News Breakout. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Check out my extensive library of 3,000 plus videos and shorts. And I also share content to my community page of breaking news and updated stories. Okay, so let's see how you all weighed. Well, nobody has voted. This is strange. I thought some people had voted. I see 14 votes. Right or wrong, mutilating a corpse, cutting the penis off and stuffing it in a dead man's mouth. 57% of you said right, 21% wrong, 7% not sure, 14% of you said you don't care. Wow. 2 comments. Vixen says, I get why she did it. She has an ethical and legal obligation to not abuse a corpse. It is her line of work to process a body. Vixen, I don't understand your comment. She has an ethical and legal obligation to not abuse a corpse. It is her line of work to process a body. But your comment is kind of contradictory. You said you get why she did it, She has a legal obligation not to abuse the corpse, and it is her line of work to process a body. I don't understand your comment. Well, she knows if she's in that line of work of processing a body, she's embalming it or whatever. It's not the same as cutting off a penis. You're putting tubes in a body and putting fluid in them to make them whole, stiff. You're only probably making a few little punctures, to run the tubes. It's not the same as cutting off the organs and stuffing it in a dead man's mouth. It's a bit extreme. Anyway, that's my content. To this great network, $Beganji129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you all for your time. Thank you, Sue, for joining me. And you all please stay safe out there. This is live number 2. Check out my earlier live pertaining to the Tesla fire arson in Vegas. Also, some other cars have been burned. Also in Kansas City, there are protests around the United States pertaining to the Tesla organization. And as one person said, setting the cars on fire is not the way to go. Whether you agree, disagree with Elon Musk, number 47, all these political agendas, they have insurance money. So Tesla's going to get every damn dime back. So you haven't solved anything. Peaceful protest is the answer. Being heard is the answer. Voicing your opinion is the answer. Not violating the rights of cars. Which cars, they can't think, they can't act. It's just a car. It's just a structure, a building or whatever. But still somebody's responsible for it. So don't set items on fire and don't or hurt human beings. That's the message, everybody. Okay, everybody, I'm out of here. You all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And once again, the movie of the week is Opus. It is now playing at a theater near you. It came out last Friday. It's a very interesting, creepy type movie of a young lady going out to the middle of the desert to, I guess, meet this rock star guy. And he's got all these people out there living. And it's almost like an occult, the way they're behaving and acting. And I think she finally decides that, maybe it's time for me to go. And I think she's going to have a hard time getting off the compound. So that's what I gathered from the trailer. Feel free to check my community page out because I do have the trailer on my community page. And once again, take this poll pertaining to this guy being mutilated, this sex offender. And I'm also going to put up a poll. What do you think should happen to the lady who committed the crime? She's facing 2 years in prison. She's out on a $5,000 bond, which is very low. Should the bond have been higher? Should she get prison time? That's my content, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful week. You've been listening to Your Crazy America, an extension of the Vault XL. Thank you.